So this is one of my favorite waterfalls in Iceland. There's actually a few shots there. It is a photographer's dream there. The great thing during the summer, there's like 22 hours of light. So I was here at probably 4 o'clock in the morning. So I did not run into anybody. This is, there's an ice lagoon. Look at the end of a glacier. They break off and just kind of float, and to give you an idea of the size. And they're even much bigger under the water. It's probably the most photographed thing. 95% of the beaches there are black sand. And this is just the waves crashing up along the, it was just unbelievable. Okay. Getting ahead of myself. What I found out, the horses are incredibly friendly. I found out they all want to be fed. That's why they're so friendly. But they will just come up to you and just pose literally for you. That was one of my favorites. That was around sunset. This is the famous statue downtown. It represents the Vikings, and this was sunrise. And when I got down there, there was a couple from Germany that were sitting on it drinking beer. And after I convinced them to let me take a couple pictures, we drank till 5, 6. This is my favorite. I love shooting in DC, and this is just one of my favorite shots. I'm just fascinated by all the buildings there. I hate what goes on in the city, but I love the buildings itself. I was up at Niagara Falls, and for some weird reason, I found out they turned the lights off at 11 o'clock. So this is no lights. This is just natural, what the existing light that just kind of hit it. When you go to Mount Rushmore, thank you. There's a little sign that says side view this way. Had no idea what it was. There it is. It's the only one you can see profile. But I just thought everybody, this to me is the coolest. This was my impression of James Earl Jones. That is where they shot the Kevin Costner movie, and I did go out to the field and came in from the outfield. So this is in the middle of South Dakota. It is the strangest thing I've ever seen. Those statues, it's right along 90. It's a statue farm, and the little guys are about 10 feet tall. And that's just made out of metal. It's just, you're driving by and your jaw's just, now to the concerts, this is one of my favorites. I love doing stuff with Carlos Jones. He lets me go everywhere, so I just walk up behind and can shoot whatever. And that was down at Shooters a couple of years ago. One of my other favorite bands, Bare Naked Ladies. Cool one with this is, after I got to shoot the first 2 songs, there was no security, so I was sitting in my seat with my camera. Hey, I'll just pull it out, use the long lens. So, this was great. In the middle of August in Dublin, Ohio, it is so hot, and this guy with the long straight hair walked right in front of the fan, right when I happened to be in the perfect spot for that. I just love that shot. This was the big Gaelic storm from the movie Titanic. A great friend of ours who could not be there is known for posing with a beer on his head. So they brought me up on stage in front of like 8,000 people to take this photo. And of course Murphy, the Irish, can do it by himself without holding it. This is a guy named Carlos Nunez. They call him the Jimi Hendrix of bagpipes. And the guy is amazing. He's from Galicia, Spain, and just can play any kind of woodwind instrument. It's just mind-boggling. This one was for Spike. It's a friend of mine named Eileen Ivers. She was the original fiddler in Riverdance. And I just love shooting pictures of her and working with her. She's just amazing. This is a band called the Red Hot Chili Pipers. And they were trying out a new guitarist, and they kind of said, nah, it didn't work. And they brought one of the littlest kids from the Willis clan and brought him out. And he played, and they all got down on their knees. This is obviously Kiss. These guys are the most posable. It got to the point where the photographers were like, okay, I got it, you can move on. They literally come down. I mean, I literally could have reached out and touched his foot at that point. And I just love this one of Carlos. It just, I didn't want to duplicate people, but that one was just too cool. And I think I got 1 or 2 more. And this one I did not take, but it's a band called We Banjo 3. But if you look in the back, I had a pretty good seat for that show.
You got a good shot.
So, I admit I did not take that one, so that is.
Awesome.